Hi, this is Meyer from Downtown Suites. Just regarding leases. Now, the interesting situation, just this past week we've had a tenant come to us and say that they can't afford to continue on in their residence. They're renting rather an expensive suite for us in one of the more prestigious buildings in town. The rent's about $7,000 a month. So, kind of a difficult situation. They told us that they probably won't be able to pay the rent next month. We can't do anything, we can't release the suite or do anything until we get actually a written notice from the tenant. Now once the tenant breaks the lease, they are liable for any losses or damages that the owner might incur as a result of their lease breaking. So if they're 3 months into the lease and they've got 9 months to go and it takes us 7 months to get the suite rented, we would have the right to go to arbitration for 7 months rent. Plus, they are also responsible for the releasing fees, which is half a month's rent. So, something that needs to be thought of quite carefully, especially if you're a tenant. When you are signing a lease, you are responsible for the full term of it. Generally speaking, we're able to re-rent suites fairly quickly. In fact, in this instance, we had a fellow say that he wanted to take it for the first of the month, because we had put an ad up to try and mitigate the damages for the owner and the tenant. But at the moment, the tenant is travelling and we haven't got the signed notice, so there's nothing we can do. We can't enter into another lease agreement until we have that notice. At Downtown Suites, we're trying to mitigate costs for everybody. We don't want to be the bad guy, but at the same time, we have to protect everybody's rights, and that includes the landlord, obviously. We're also very conscious of trying to be helpful to the tenants, because situations in life do change. People get transferred, and in this chap's, his financial situation has changed, even though he had a very stable credit background for a long time. Something has happened and changes. But we do try to mitigate, and we do try to re-rent as quickly as possible. But it's something to remember, there are responsibilities and obligations when you're a tenant. From the landlord's perspective, there's an obligation too. Once you've signed the lease, you're not able to do anything with the property. You can't move into it. The lease takes precedence. The lease runs with the land. So even if you sell your apartment or property, you can't evict the tenants. The tenants are there for the term of the lease. You can ask the tenants if you can show the suite, and they more or less have to oblige you with that with a 24-hour notice. But even if you do sell it, the new owners have to take on those tenants. You can't raise the rent, and actually you can't make any other changes whatsoever. The lease is firm for the full term. We like to take a 1-year lease at Downtown Suites because one of the other concerns we have is that we have some sort of longevity with a tenant. We don't want somebody using it for a month as just sort of a crash pad and then walking away. So we like to have people in for a 1 year, and after that we go month to month. We generally don't negotiate actual leases because it gives the landlord more flexibility should they want to sell or should they want to move in. Then it's a 60-day notice situation and they can either move in or the new owner can move in. So, something to be concerned about. Leases are binding legal documents, so please be aware of that. Thank you.